right. Hello, hello. It's me, Fiery Grace the Gifted. I am here with what should be a quick update for the Divine Feminine. This is my Divine Feminine Healing Encouragement spread, and it's pretty clear to me that many Divine Feminines are coming out of a very strange, dark, heavy energy, and some only just realized it was even on them. They were doing such a good job fighting it off as they always do that they didn't even realize just how big of a monster it really was. Some were completely aware. It didn't even seem any different than what they'd been dealing with before, but they didn't realize it was actually a kind of a purging energy. So I think it's really important for us to address the elephant in the room, if you will, and figure out what it is we need to know. So this is going to be a good complement to a previous reading that I've did for the Divine Feminines called Are You Here For It? If you saw it, awesome. If you didn't, you might want to check it out. I'm going to go ahead and split, lay out the spread, and we'll get started. So hi, hello, hello, hi everybody, welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, jumping in, let's find out the theme. What is it that we need to know about what's happening right now? King of Swords. So, Divine Feminine, in spite of the fact that this was a very emotional period for you, there were a lot of things that had to happen to assist you in your internal decision making abilities, your capacity to choose. And so there was a lot of things that were cleared up on an intellectual level that were impacting you on an emotional level with this situation. So what is it that we need to know? Because this theme kind of impacts this energy, but it's the theme we're moving into now that we're leaving this energy behind or growing from this or learning from this that'll allow us to understand what's really going down. So what do we need to know? Five of Cups. I think that what was happening is you were stuck in mourning for a very long time. And emotionally speaking, I mean, let's be real. When somebody, a lot of us have been experiencing either death or the fear of death in the past few months. Imagine, I know my grandmother passed away in March. Imagine if I sat in that feeling rather than taking the time to think about it. And that might sound crazy, but hear me out. If I sit in the feeling of mourning and sadness and the emotions of loss, then all that's going to breed is more loss, more, like in the case of my grandmother, more realization that, okay, I'm never going to see her again. Those moments where emotionally I get kind of triggered because the other day I found this pancake recipe that tasted just like hers. It was a blessing, but it was also like, whoa, I just realized she will never make me pancakes on Christmas morning. That was a thing we did for decades. Those were the kinds of emotional situations and happenings that kind of brought me down. But it was then thinking about it on an intellectual level that shifted it. Maybe for the pancakes, you know what? This stinks, The good news is I never thought I would taste her pancakes again. And yet this recipe, it was creepy how much it tasted like. It even looked like them. It was like, I don't know how I found her recipe, but I did. And now I get to have that for a long time. And, you know, it was kind of a surprise actually. And so trying to get out of the feeling and into the thought process of how this is going to make things better or shift things actually helped a lot. And so I want you to understand that this mourning that you've been in was necessary, right? It's important for us. That's why even companies in America that give no time off, even give time off for bereavement, okay? It's people understand what loss and death can do. Now, this doesn't always have to be about, factual, physical death. I mean, this could be about, the death of a relationship, the ending of a cycle, any of it, okay? Because remember, I see this as the cloak of death. This card has very similar energies to the death card or the release card. And so here, very simply put, it's a person who needs to mourn, needs to allow that to happen, but then also needs to turn around and see it for what it really is. You see, the emotions go into the mourning, but it is the spark that those emotions can bring, maybe even sparking a positive emotion in you, that causes you to start to think and see what could be ahead. And so this is about leaving behind the energy of sadness and loss and coming into the space of what still stands. Okay? This is a beautiful card, especially for twin flames, because it says, listen, I know that there might be some sadness on the DM's behalf about the divine feminine, or even the divine feminine about how he or she is not able to handle the divine masculine in this certain part of the journey. All understood, but just turn around and realize that the Two of Cups, the energy of the Two of Cups is here. The energy of the Ace of Swords is here. And so when you put those two things together, I see beautiful shifts occurring. And so, yes, we're leaving behind an energy that kind of pushed us into a space of, I really need to think clearly. I can't make too many moves without messing things up. So I have to be very purposeful. And it's moving us into an energy of, okay, things are still changing around me. Things are getting into this kind of new balance, getting rebalanced. What is it that I need to be doing to make sure that I'm able to get through the change intellectually rather than emotionally? Because we see the intellectual allows us to still see the beautiful emotions that are possible without allowing the negative emotions to overwhelm us. All right, let's find out what it is we need to know from our guides. What is the divine flow? King. All right, we've got another king. Got King of Wands energy here. Focus, focus, focus. Let's look at this. Communicate with vision. Oh, and the Chariot's right underneath. So we see something's happening on the divine scale. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. It's funny because sometimes whenever I'm doing a reading and I see a card that says advice from someone and it's like has anything to do with me, I'm always like, is it me? I'm creative. Maybe the advice is for me, but it's not probably always for me. So there might be some situations where you're getting opportunities to be inspired by someone around you, but that means you have to open yourself up to being inspired. Again, not something that you can accomplish in the negative, low vibrational energy. The fact that the Chariot's underneath this, and I mean, look, this person has taken this dragon to be their chariot, right? Like, so we see this is divine movement and momentum. A part of the problem of where I was, at least in my low vibration last month, was feeling stuck and feeling stagnant and feeling like, was I always going to be in this place? I don't know where it came from, but it just fell on me. And now I realized that what was happening is I needed the ability to, I don't know why, but I just saw my eyes adjusting in darkness. I just saw this vision of me sitting out in the woods and looking up at the sky and being like, I thought the stars were supposed to be brighter in the woods. And then realizing that I had to sit out there for a little while in order to really be able to see it. And so what happened is we were all kind of sitting in darkness and we all had this experience of feeling like, okay, what is the point? Why am I even here? This doesn't feel comfortable. This doesn't feel good. And then all of a sudden the stars come out. We start to really see things for what they are. And we get this new feeling of, yes, let's do this. Let's go. I got this. So what is it that we need to know that our guides are trying to tell us now? Because before it was like there was something that needed to be revealed to us. What about now? Two of Pentacles. Now it's time to choose. This is interesting because we have choices, right? Helping us with our ability to make decisions in an intellectual way. We see change is coming. We see that there are going to be multiple paths and opportunities. We see that we need to focus on what we know is right and have the willpower required, because guess what? It's time. The energy of divine choice is here. In fact, I think the purging that was done previously was to allow you to make choices like, okay, this is going to sound crazy. And again, people don't understand how I think. So I always have to say, like, just listen to what I'm saying. Okay. There were a lot of things that, because my grandmother was still alive, in spite of the fact that I wasn't talking to anyone in my family, there were a lot of things that I would not have decided to keep or get rid of, just from the emotional bond of, oh, well, you know, the same reason everybody keeps all the junk that we keep that we really don't want, that somebody gave us as a gift that we're like, oh, great, thanks. And you kind of hold on to it out of guilt or obligation or whatever. There were a lot of things that I could have had around me that I would have just kept around me forever, because it was like, oh, well, my grandma. But now that she's passed away and I stopped thinking emotionally and started thinking more logically and more future based, there's this thing that comes to me and says, you know what? I think that it's important for me to keep the things that give me good memories of her, keep the things that are going to help me facilitate my new life, the things that I do want to achieve. And I actually feel the freedom not having the guilt on top of me of, what if I get rid of this thing? Will she be mad? Well, now it's more of, does this thing give me joyful memories of her? If it doesn't, I can get rid of it. And so again, kind of sticking to something a little bit tough, but my point in that is saying, now that you are able to make decisions more intellectually, you will be able to clear things out in a way that was different than before. So if this is about your counterpart, your twin flame, this is about a job, if this is about, anything, now that these things have shifted, ask yourself, what has that loss and moving forward from that loss really afforded me in terms of being able to make different choices, better choices, do things in a different way? So that's one side of this. But the other side is to remember that this is a card of alchemy. And I think that this is saying, turn around, see what still exists, see what's still there, and do what you can to make sure that you make the most of it. Don't miss the opportunity afforded to you in the things that remain, thinking that you did such a big purge that you got rid of things that you actually wanted or needed. You didn't. You have everything you need right now in this moment to do what you need to do. Believe. Consider a more playful approach. I think that that might be why this card of all the cards that could have given us this information had to come up. Because I think it's saying, listen, be very, very cautious about going forward with this kind of solemn, sorrowful approach. Take a different approach. The need to make a decision, there's too much going on. Consider a more playful approach. Be kind, be hopeful, be positive. Don't make the decision in your mourning, make the decision in your joy, in the joy for realization and recognition that something good is coming. This is very interesting. All right, so what do we need to know about the awakening that's occurring? All right, you see that kind of eye opening with the diamond, like we've been in this pressure. It's our first moment out of the darkness. What is it that we need to know? What's being awakened? 9 of Pentacles. I like to see this card. I love this peacock. And the reason I like it is because technically the male peacock is the one that's all fancy, right? But in this card, this is meant to represent the divine feminine energy. And I love it. I think that here it's saying, listen, if your divine masculine can shine, so can you. If your divine masculine can do better and move forward and accept life, I think that's one of the things we get frustrated about, is some of the stuff that they should really pay attention to, in our opinion, they can just move on from it. And some of the stuff that, you know, should just be able to be moved on from, they get stuck in. And it's like, listen, why don't you take a page out of your divine masculine's book in the positive and try to move forward and be more like them in that regard? Because I have a feeling that they can give you a little bit of advice on how to shine and be free and have that fun-loving energy in spite of everything going on around you. That's just something, I don't know. I just had guy friends and I feel like they were really good at going out and partying even when they were stressed. But looking at this, I'm not telling you to go out and party. Stay home. Just kidding. But so looking at this, I see The awakening of the divine feminine in the recognition of being alone or being without this person, this place, this thing. This could be a person recognizing that they have more power without that corporate job and pursuing something as a light worker and creating a career from their house. Or I see a person who recognizes that, you know, they don't need to be around their counterpart in the middle of this journey right now because that person is not in a place to be respectful to them. And so they might actually have a little bit of freedom to go out and live their best life, waiting on that person patiently, lovingly, kindly, whatever it is. Something in you just realized you can make more out of what you've got than you really originally thought. I think that's a part of that playfulness. But you've got to see the vision first. It's like when you're going shopping for an outfit. Everybody knows don't go shopping for anything specific because you'll never find it, right? But, you know, sometimes you get lucky. And you can go out and you can picture, this is what I want to look like. I want to be taller, so I'm going to need heels. You know, I want to be slimmer, so I'm going to wear this black outfit. I'm going to get a little corset, so my waist is all, I'm going to get me a push-up bra. And you see the under now. Okay, now I want to color, or it's gonna be black, but I want some red accents. I'm gonna throw some red. I'm gonna look for some rubies. Like, you start to really envision it before you actually go out to get it. And I feel like right now the awakening is saying, who do you want to be? How do you see yourself? Are you fancy? Are you nonchalant with it? You know, that I'm very nonchalant with the way I dress. I like to wear a lot of black and like jewels. Okay, so it's like, because I already get noticed enough with this big freaking hair and this big old smile. I like to tone it down a little bit. Maybe Mr. Lightwork is the peacock. He wants to dress up and get fancy clothes and he likes colorful things. You know, whatever it is, start to see it. Who are you? Why are you that way? What is it going to do to make you feel good as you move into this next space? I don't know why I'm feeling this whole new wardrobe, new outfit thing. I'm not really a shopper, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing someone who looks different, who sees themselves, and then they go out and get it. And so this isn't just about the vision, it's the decision to go get it. It's not just about the decision, it's also about the decision of which place you're going to get it. So you have to make sure that you've done the research and found everything you need. There's a lot that's going to go into this new thing, but it's the beautiful part is it's all about what you want to manifest. It's all about you. So what is it we need to know? What are we awakening? Oh, it's the Fool. It's everything. Zero, all encompassing, everything you need to know. Look at that freedom. Look at that outfit. Fancy dress and stuff. I love it. This is dope. This is incredible. And you know what? You see this giant crystal? I don't see this as the normal cliff of the Fool. I see this as someone emerging from a deep, dark cave. And the way that they got out is they climbed the crystals. I don't know if you've ever seen those gigantic crystals that form underground. In like the caves and stuff they put in like movies or in National Geographic and stuff like that, but they're huge because no one has ever touched them, and they're gigantic because they just had room to grow and nothing stopped them, and it was the perfect circumstances to help them get bigger. And so you might look at the dank, dark, damp yuckiness of a cave and think, oh my gosh, what could this possibly do for me? Little do you know that it has the nutrients and it helps your eyes adjust and gave you some superpowers in it. And as you climb out of this crystal and you pop up, like bada bing, bada boom, here I am, let's do this. All of a sudden, you look like a magical person. Matter of fact, you came out with the freaking giant diamond because you grabbed a crystal on your way out. There was something that you had to go down there and get, and you got it. You did a good job. This is incredible. Your awakening is you awakening to who you are now. Open your eyes to yourself. Open your eyes to yourself. So we have healing. There's a 2-step process in this healing. What do we need to know? Well, we've got Ace of Cups. This could be falling in love with self. This could also be about opening yourself up to new love in general. You know, I love to read this, whatchamacallit, little booklet. I'm going to read the Fool at the end. Don't let me forget that. If I forget, I forget. But Ace of Bowls in this, I love this, open right up to it. It says, receive love from the giver. So it is about love. This could be saying open yourself up to your counterpart. This could be saying open yourself up to divine. This could be saying open yourself up to you. Some of us know we are harder on ourselves than anybody else is, and harder than we are on anyone else. And sometimes we don't realize that our own self is trying to love us and give us that self-love. And again, we don't listen to how we speak to each other or to ourselves. We don't listen to how we think and how our thoughts start us off on those stupid overthinking, overanalyzing patterns that we get into. We don't really pay attention to how that's not really showing ourselves love. And our self knows us well enough to know what to give us. So receive the love from your own self, but really receive it from anyone who's ready to give it to you. Open it up. So what's the first thing that we need to do in order to help us awaken to who we are, how powerful we truly are, how much has changed, considering things from a different perspective, a different approach? All of this is coming together. What is it that we need to understand about this healing that's going to occur? Oh, the devil, the ego, the lack, look at how yucky this image is. I don't know how often I've gotten this. It's called trickster. Some of you guys know the trickster from Supernatural. Some of you guys know Loki, the trickster, the devil here. This is also ego in most cards. Let's read this. Hold on a second. Words can fool you. Now, we just talked about how we talk to ourselves. And hold on a second. Before I even keep going, let me just say something. Sometimes I have to tell my clients, well, first of all, I have to ask them, who said that? Who told you that? Because most of the time, the stuff we say, oh, yeah, I know I can't do that, or I know I'm not allowed to do that, or I know I'm not good enough to do that. We say, I know. Half the time, it's because we told ourselves that we can't, based on our recollection or understanding. And the other 50% of the time, it's someone else in our life telling us why we couldn't, and we just accepted it. We just went with it. We just decided yes. But then we forget that moment of decision. We forget that moment where that person told us that thing. And then we step forward and we step out into the world with this knowing, this belief that we can't do or won't be able to or are not allowed, based on what we assume is some decree of God. We forget where those naysayings came from. Came from you, came from your dad, came from your cousin when you were 5 and whatever. So don't allow, basically what's happened is your ego has grabbed a hold of something and taken it on, embodied it. And then you forget where it came from because it just seems to be a part of you. Do not allow your own words or the words of someone else, especially those forgotten that have now become beliefs, to impact the way that you move right now, because they're not true. Don't be fooled. You are the fool in the sense of you're foolish enough to step out and be who you need to be, but do not be the fool in the sense of being fooled by things that just are not true. This is where you needed the vision, right, of divine, and the wisdom, the mental understanding, the 5D, 3D mental merging capacity to know what's real. That's why this was given to you in your previous season. But let's read this. Sorry. Words can fool you. Right now, you are tripping over concepts that are hidden behind the surface words that you use to describe your present situation. Notice words that cause you to have an emotional response, then examine your underlying beliefs. I'm sorry, I should have just kept reading, my bad. The cause of your apparent trouble is a negative idea you hold to be true. Okay, I should have just kept reading, my bad. So specific. You fell in love with a dream, a goal, a vision, a purpose, a truth, and then you forgot. Because something in you automatically was like, nope. Something in you was like, that's not real. Something in you was like, that's not possible. And then you move forward with it, and every single person you talk to, whether you could come literally hire me as a coach and say, Fiery Grace, coach me through this, and then you're going to tell me why I can't coach you through it because of something you told yourself, or you told yourself that someone else said that was true. You said it was real. You said it was, come on, man. All right. So we're leaving this behind. We're leaving this behind, and we're healing into what? What's going to help us open up and love ourselves more? 9 of Swords. Now, this is dope. Why? Because typically if we see 9 of Swords in another deck, it is not a good card. It is very, very scary. It is a card of nightmares. But look at this person. I don't know why, but I get this very Sagittarian influence. And I know not everybody likes Sagittarius. I understand, child. I know not everybody has Sag in their chart or really identifies with that. But What I mean is, you guys know how some of the Sagittarians are just like aloof and just like, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's go. We could do it if you just believe. Well, guess what? Something in you is about to have this kind of focused, purposeful, you know, arrow with the vision kind of thing, like covering your eyes, completely blind, and yet you're able to archer your way through any situation with power, with might. You're just able to shoot straight, right on target, no problems. You see, you went out into the darkness to get your eyes adjusted to the darkness, so that now that you've come out of the darkness, you can shoot with your eyes closed and still hit your mark. That's real. That's super real. I like this because what I think this is saying is a part of the reason why you hadn't been able to achieve that love is because you were blinded to so many things, but then you spent some time as a blind person and it actually opened you up to things that you would not have seen before. This is wild. This is a wild, this is a wild reading. Okay. Let's keep going because I have a seminar today. By the way, really quick plug. If you were interested and you emailed me, I tried to make sure I emailed everybody back today that had been asking about the seminar. The case study is full. There are no more case study slots available. But if you're interested, it's in the link in the description right now. You can join the seminar. It is today at 6, so in about an hour and 15 minutes. That's why I'm kind of trying to wrap this up quickly because I knew I had to do this today. And I don't have time after the seminar because I have sessions, but this is important. So throwing it all out there. Let's keep going. Now we see that because of this new ability to choose, even when it seems scary, even when it seems dark, even when it seems like we know better, we're wrong. We're wrong. We're right about the good and we're wrong about the bad. And it's starting to get to a point where we see how true that really is for us. So what is it that we need to know that is coming because of what's awakening, because of what's healing? What miraculous things are occurring in this time? Oh, well, look at that. That's real specific. I show up for myself and the world. Come on, Divine Feminine. Are you ready to show up? Look at the colors even. Again, we're seeing this kind of similar color scheme and I don't know, there's something about it. This is to me full balance alignment in the chakras because I see the sacral chakra, the root chakra, but I also see the crown chakra in here. It's being your whole self. It's being who you need to be. It's standing in your truth, showing up and recognizing that by showing up and loving you, by showing up and being who you're supposed to be, regardless of whether or not things seem perfect, you are actually showing up for the world just by doing that right there. Just right there. Oh, did somebody donate? Who is this? Oh, is it Inez or Inez? Oh, thank you. That's dope. I appreciate you. I wasn't expecting that. So, I show up for myself in the world. That right there in itself is going to feel like a miracle for many of us because we haven't been able to do that in a long time. So what does that mean? Wow. Now, okay, these cards, you see all the colors that are in this background? These cards do not all look the same. And yet look at this. We still see the similar color scheme. Some of the other cards are different. I'm telling you, this is wild. My positive energy leaves a powerful impression on the world. You want to know why you've been getting all these dark attacks? Just so that you could see that every day you don't shine, someone's getting hurt. You've been noticing that your friends don't want to bother you because they know that you're stressed out. So but they're sad and they need you, but they don't want to stress you out. You've been noticing that your clients have been holding back a little bit. You've been noticing it all. You've seen how people care enough about you to just kind of let you be, but they're also in need of you and you're not available to them because you're in your own mess. I'm not blaming you for being in your mess. You had to go through what you had to go through, but a part of that going through was to see how important you are and that you were missing. you were missing and people needed you. And you saw how without your light shining bright, how the world got a little bit dimmer. So now that you show up for yourself in the world, you realize that it's your positive energy leaves this powerful impression on the world. That's how, by showing up for yourself, that's how the world gets impacted. Because when you show up for yourself, you're in a better mood. When you show up for yourself, you feel empowered. When you show up for yourself, you do the damn thing. Come on. That's the miracle. The miracle is you. How many times are we going to have to say that before you really believe it, though? So what's the final blessing? What do we need to know? Oh, this is what, okay, now, what are the odds that we would have the King of Swords and then a blessing to bring clarity? And this is making me think, I always tell you guys, she reminds me of Alyssa Milano. And I think about the fact that in Charmed, she was an empath. She had premonitions. And I feel like the fact that we were given a clear mind was saying, listen, your emotions were blocking your ability to see what was next. Now you're being given a new sense of power, a new sense of truth. Your blessing is to bring you clarity enough to be able to see yourself in the mirror and to recognize just how important you are in the grand scheme of things. So what do we need to have in our minds right now? Well, we've got a blessing of the waters. And so before the waters, the emotions, the heaviness of life and the world and all of that, it was just, it didn't feel good. It wasn't good at all. It was bad. But now we're able to feel emotions again. See, they weren't saying to you, get rid of your emotions. Nope. That's why they made sure we had the vision of an empath here, right? The clarity. It wasn't about that. It was saying that your negative emotions, getting sucked up and lost in the misery, was not going to be fruitful. But emotions themselves are beautiful. They are indicators of how in the moment your vibrational field is balanced or imbalanced. When you feel something that says, I feel sad, you're not supposed to go, oh, I must be sad, and then sit in the sadness. You're supposed to say, why do I feel sad? What about this situation is causing me sadness? Oh, someone passed away. That is a legitimate reason to feel sadness. However, if I sit in this for too long, I know that this is not going to do anything good for me. So I'm going to give myself my time. Like me, I know myself as Fire Grace. I take about 3 days to grieve. Relationships, death, whatever. I know it sounds crazy, but it's just the truth. It's about how long I usually need. And then something shifts, something happens. And I go, okay, now how can I make the most of this? There's something good that came of this. There's something passionate inside of me that's about to explode because I just know I'm ready. You see, emotions are meant to be good. Emotions are meant to help us understand how to find the good things. If this thing makes me feel bad, this must mean something here needs to be fixed or released. So let me allow my emotions to guide me in that way rather than guiding me into misery, silence, and loneliness. You have just received a blessing on the healthy emotions and the ability to use them in that way. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Who is this? Aw, hi Tiffany. Who else? And Keisha, thank you guys. This is amazing. You know, you guys could have just ordered a membership instead of giving that money, just so you guys know. But make sure, I think I have your email. I have your email, Tiffany. But Keisha, Inez, I can't remember if I have everybody's, but if you donate to me, please always send me an email so that I can send you something. I have a thing. I really like to make sure you guys know how appreciated you are. So make sure you email me and remind me. Okay, sorry, back to this. So I'm going to read the Fool card from the Diamond deck because I think that that's what's going to give us the most information for right now, okay? So, and it opened to Ace of Swords with similar colors. I know you can't really see that. I have a very strong feeling about this leaving behind lower vibration, coming into positivity and joy and excitement and hope. But let's find out. Let's find out the colors are not the only message. Let's find out what they're trying to say. So here is where you might have been. I'm going to read the lower vibration first, and then I'll also read the high vibration. Here's where you might have been. Current state of mind, it's all about you. Naive thinking and careless actions lead you to constantly live in the moment with no plans for the future. Your actions can be seen as selfish, feeding your ego, and ignoring the consequences of how you are affecting those around you. In short, you are acting the fool. Check your ego and ask yourself if your actions are based off of wholeness and confidence or uncertainty and insecurity. Ground yourself and find your center within. You could also be walking into a vulnerable situation where you may be taken advantage of. Don't be naive and do your research, which I already told you guys earlier. This is weird. Be prepared for whatever you're about to walk into, whether it's an interview, meeting, or date. Risks that gratify you for the moment could cost you in the long run. Wow. So that's where we might have been. I see a little bit of myself in there. The thoughts that I was having last month about, where I wanted my ministry to be and go and how the heck I was going to get there, it was all fear. It was uncertainty and insecurity. How can I say that I believe, and then not believe? You know what I mean? And so those were things that had to happen. And I think that there was a period of time where even I was moving in ego and fear. And I did shut myself off from you guys back in April. You'll see I didn't post as much because I don't like to put my bad energy out there if I have it. But also just because I get into my feelings and I start to point fingers when I'm supposed to be looking in the mirror. And I don't ever want to get on here and make anybody feel bad about something that really has nothing to do with them, wasn't even channeled, was just me trying to talk and be mad. You know what I'm saying? And so I can feel this. I think I was being careless with my energy and the love and also with my business by not making sure that I did not allow myself to get into too deep of a mess. It's been a long time since I let that happen. But you guys, when I found out about my grandma, I just kind of gave up on everything. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. And so I feel that. But let's look at the positive because this is where we're moving to. You ready? Free spirit, purity, beginnings. How exciting. The Fool card is a card of pure spontaneous energy filled with curiosity and enthusiasm for the next adventure. You're ready to step forward into a new journey where the sky's the limit. You have boundless potential where you can pour your exuberance into fresh creative endeavors. Living in the moment, you're learning to let go of expectations and go with the flow. You're ready to venture into unknown territories and pioneer your free spirit into this new phase of your life. With a carefree attitude, this is a time to really discover yourself in new ways and explore your options. Trust your gut, listen to your heart, and believe in yourself. Once you let go, the universe will support you on this exciting beginning of your journey. Well, that's exciting already right there. So, look, there was definitely some pain, some sadness, but all of it was meant to happen. We were meant to go through these things. It was supposed to occur for a reason, for a purpose. So that right there should help clear away a lot of the guilt and anguish and frustration you feel with yourself. This was meant to happen. You were meant to go through it. Don't stress. Don't fret. Now, on the other side, you are walking into something new, something exciting, something just for you. You had to go through a period of selfishness so that when you were finally given something that was just for you, you knew that if it is just for you, it's also for the world, and you would know how to handle it. There's a reason why some of us don't get wealth when we're young. There's a reason why some of us don't have the love that we thought we should have when we're young, because we most likely would have taken it for granted and squandered it. Ask yourself honestly, not being mad at who you used to be, just honestly. Would you really have been the best you could be in the situation you want so bad, or the one you've just now come into or acquired? Would you really have made the most of it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even a year ago, even a month ago, even a week ago, if you hadn't have gone through the things that you went through? Most everyone is going to say, no, I would have screwed that up royally. Most of us are grateful for when things start to shift and open up because we realize we're finally really, truly ready. So allow that to give you some hope and excitement about what is to come, what your future holds. Knowing that everything you went through was required of you, and now what's required of you is to make the most of goodness and good things and good times. I'm so excited. All right, I want to stay here so much longer, but you guys, I have a seminar. I have to go get ready real quick. And I don't know. I'll just keep talking. You guys know me. So I'm out of here. Oh, wait. Haha. I am not out of here. I am Fiery Grace. Welcome. Again, thank you to everyone who decided to donate. Please send me an email. Thefierygrace at gmail.com is my email. I don't spam or anything like that. I don't have time, and I also don't have a company to work with to give you spam. So if you would just please email me so I can send you something. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I am an intuitive life strategist here on YouTube. This reading in particular was to help you navigate the healing energies that have come, that have arrived, that are resting upon you as we speak. And so I hope that you are able to receive some of the information and create a new strategy for the days ahead. You can work with me via long-term coaching. That is a minimum of $1,000 a month investment. So just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of how that actually works and how to work with me, and where that starts in terms of pricing. Otherwise, all of the rest of my pricing is on my website, thefierygrace.com. And most people take advantage of working with me in short-term coaching opportunities like love letters, light worker strategy sessions, personal and divine masculine readings. That's all the different stuff that people will take advantage of through these live YouTube readings, the pre-recorded sessions, and then the phone sessions. I also make handmade runes and other beautiful blessings and tools that I'm going to create for my Handmade Hope shop soon, because I still haven't done it. And otherwise, if you want to work with me, go to my website, thefierygrace.com. Again, my email is thefierygrace@gmail.com. I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And I do not have any more case study slots available. My words are starting to together. I'm trying to go too fast. Slow down. You guys know how it is. When you try to go too fast, it just makes you take forever because you're like falling over yourself like the Three Stooges. If you're interested, the seminar is in about an hour. If you can't make it, but you are wanting to start your own YouTube channel, order the replay for tomorrow. It's a 24-hour replay. Mr. Lightwork, say hi.
Hi.
Mr. Lightwork was so sweet to allow me to do this and interrupt his workout that he's been doing. So he was here in the background. If you heard him randomly, those were the sounds. I forgot to tell you guys that. Otherwise, follow Mr. Lightwork. Subscribe, like, share, comment to Mr. Lightwork and myself.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys and talk to you soon. I love you. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your kind donations. Thank you for those who randomly send me little donations here and there as well. That is amazing. Oh, and welcome, Infinite Butterfly 777. You are newest member. Shout out, shout out, shout out. I'll try to make sure I shout you guys out. Oh, Infinite Butterflies, just so you know, if you are interested, there is in the membership tab you now have available, there is a supplement or like an extra, what's it called? I just made another short little reading connected to, it's like an extended from the reading I did a couple days ago. So if you were watching a reading I did a few days ago where there was like four decks out, that reading I actually did an extended to. And so members will get to experience stuff like that. It was just a random thing I decided to do. But like right now, if I close this reading out, but then I decided that I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it, I will be posting those in the membership tab, even if I only have a few members. So I just wanted to make sure you knew about that, and any other members that are watching knew to go watch that extended. Otherwise, I'm really leaving now. I love you. Thank you for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.